Hi guys, welcome back to Future Dimensions 360. As you know, in our last tutorial, we had learned the difference when to use state hook and when to use reducer hook. In today's tutorial, we will be learning about use callback hook. Before moving forward to use callback hook, let's learn about performance optimization a little bit as use callback hook is totally dependent on performance optimization. For the saving of time, I had preset it up my project with some sort of components already. Let me go through a code and explain you guys one by one that what example we are going to understand by today. So here we are. I have an app.js. In the app.js, I have one parent component. Parent component is nothing but just a container in which I am performing some sort of functionality. In parent component, actually I had imported three more components. One of them is title, the next one is count, and the last one is button. Let's see the title component. If I go inside the title component, I am just logging a statement rendering title and one h1 tag in JSX that renders in my browser use callback hook. Secondly, in parent component, I am passing count. Count component contains two parameters as a props. One of them will be text and the second one will be count. Similarly, I am logging a statement rendering what should be the text that will be dynamically passes from the parent component. First time it's the text is age, and the second time the text will be salary, and the count will be a state variable called age, and here the count this will be salary. That's the state variable also. I have two state variables using state hook. One of them initial value is 25 named as age with setter function set age, and the second one is salary with set salary function and the initial value is 10,000. I had created an arrow function to increment +1 in age in each call, and similarly I had created an increment salary callback function, and what I'm doing here is incrementing the salary in each callback with 1,000 times. Similarly, I have another component called button. Inside button, I am taking handle click, a function as a parameter, and props.children's. Children's will be the one that will come in the opening and closing tag of my component. All of them will be children. In this case, I have increment age, and in the second case, I have increment salary. In both cases, I'm passing handle click. First time I'm passing increment age, and the second time I'm passing increment salary. So here I am logging the statement also rendering button. This is my example. That's what example is doing. In the parent component, I am setting up the age in state, and in each click of button, I'm incrementing the age by +1. Similarly, I'm repeating the same component back again in line number 23 and 24 with the same scenario, but this time with salary, not the age. And the increment is not +1, it's +1,000. Let's go to browser and see here. Let me reload the functions and you guys can see the initial age is 25 and initial salary is 1,000, 10,000. If I will click on increment salary, the salary turns to 11,000 and 12,000 and 13,000. Similarly, my age is incrementing also. As I told you guys, we are learning a bit performance. We have to improve the performance. So let's go ahead and have a look on performance As the main topic of this tutorial, let me go to inspect elements into my console. Let me reload the page. And you guys can see I am seeing 5 different log statements. The first one is rendering title. That is coming from where? Inside the title, I have a log rendering title. Second component is age. So second one is coming from the count with rendering age. So rendering age is coming as second log. Third log is rendering button with increment age. Third is our button. So that log statement is coming from my button component. Fourth one is similarly coming same as age, but this time salary. And the fifth one is same to age, but this time salary as well from the button. Let's go ahead, remove these logs and increment, click on just increment age a little bit. Let me make it to left side so that will be more better. Just click on increment age. You guys can see my title re-rendered. There is no change in the title. My age got re-rendered. Yeah, of course, the age is re-rendered. The age is changed. The button should be changed because I'm changing the state of age inside this call increment function of age. But the salary, I haven't touched in it. I haven't changed anything in the salary. Neither I changed the value nor I clicked the button for salary, but still the component got re-rendered for the salary also and for the title also. Similarly, if I click on the salary, same scenario happens, same thing happens. Let's keep it in mind. This is an example with 3 components only. If you have 50 or 60 components, this kind of scenario will consume a lot of memory and you will face performance implications later on in your project. How you can optimize it, let's have a look on it. That what we have to do here is we have to use Memo, React Memo. React.memo is nothing but just a feature for React. It's nothing related to hook. We have to use React.memo. Let me cut this one from here and I'll say export default react.memo, and inside this I will call button. Similarly, I'll copy this one. In the count, I will do the same thing. And this time I will pass count as memo. Just remove this export the default. Similarly, in the title also, I'll do the same thing. I will just cut this and I'll say react.memo, and inside memo I will be passing the title. What this react.memo is doing, it will keep the copy of the component, the shallow copy of the component. It will not re-rendered until and unless there is no change either in the state or the props of that component. Okay, in case there is any change in the props and state of title component, then the title component will got re-rendered. In case there is any change in the text or count props, then the count component will be re-rendered. Similarly, in the button, same thing. If there is any change in the handle click or children props, then the button component will be re-rendered. Let's go ahead and try to reload. First time, all the components re-rendered. We can see 5 different log statements from each of the component. Let me remove those. Let me click on increment age. You guys can see this time rendering age worked fine. Like my age got changed, so my count component got re-rendered. But my button got increment age button got re-rendered, and my increment salary button got re-rendered as well. If I will increment in the salary, same thing happened. The salary count component with salary got re-rendered along with both button components got re-rendered. Why this is happening? This happened because in the parent component, we are manipulating in the state. We are changing the state. As soon as you will change the state, what React will do, React will create a copy of all your functions, or callbacks, those you are passing as a parameter. So as soon as the state got changed, this parent component got re-rendered because there is a change in the state of parent component. With the re-rendering, each function that you had created inside the component should be created again or duplicated again and passed again to the child components. So this function, when it passed again, the updated function passed again to the child component, your child component got re-rendered. So for this kind of problem, for this kind of issues, what is the solution for that? That is use callback hook. Let's go ahead and try to learn what is use callback hook. What is use callback hook? Use callback hook is a hook that will return a memorized version of the callback function that changes if one of the dependencies has changed. Use callback is what? It's a kind of function, or it's kind of function hook that take callback as a parameter and the list of dependencies as a parameter. If there is any change in those dependencies, then it will returns an updated function. Otherwise, it will return the same callback function. Why we need use callback hook? It is useful when passing callbacks to optimize child component that rely on reference equality and prevent unnecessary rendering. Let me break it down. It is useful when passing callbacks. So if I come to my code, it is useful in our example when I am passing callback. Where I'm passing callback, increment age is a callback, increment salary is a callback. It is useful when I'm passing callback. So increment age is a callback. When I'm passing this callback, the use callback hook is very important. Why it's important? Because it will help you to optimize child component that rely on reference equality. Because these child component relies on what? On these references, age and salary. Whenever you are changing anything in the age, your components are getting re-rendered. So if your age is getting changed, you will make sure that your salary function will not be updated. The reference for your salary callback should remain same. Okay, how we will implement that use callback hook? Let's go ahead into our code. Let's import use callback hook. Use callback. How you can do that one is just be at the beginning of your callback called use callback hook. It's a nothing but every hook is nothing but just a function. So we had created use callback hook as a function. Let me cut and show you. See, it's just a function. First parameter is my callback and second parameter is a list of dependencies on which this callback is dependent on. This callback is dependent on salary only. Similarly, here also it will be the same use callback hook, but this time this is dependent on age. Let's hit save, go to our browser. Let me reload. You can see my 5 log statement appeared at the beginning when the component got rendered initially. Let's click on age increment. You guys can see only 2 logs are appearing now. Now increment salary button is not re-rendering. Let me click remove that one, increment the salary. You guys can see salary components are re-rendering. Age components are not re-rendering, neither the button nor the count component. This is how you can optimize performance by using use callback hook. I hope you guys understand it in detail. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. In case of any question, reach out us in our mailbox and you can use the comment box of the same video also. See you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.